Hey guys, this is Jules from digitalboxstudios.com. Thank you for stopping by my video today. We'll be making some teddy bear invitations along with some hand fans and other things. Be sure to check out all the links down below. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Jules. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am going to be sharing a video today on the ensemble of the teddy bear baby shower invitations that I'm doing for Monique and Anthony. Anthony is Tony and Lisa's eldest son, and his wife Monique. They are expecting their second baby, which is a girl. It's a season for girls because Alyssa just had a baby girl in May, and she had a son first. She had Mikey, now she has Naya. And then Anthony and Monique have little Anthony the third, and now they're gonna have a little baby girl. Her name is Camila. Now it's crunch time for me. If you didn't know, I have a vlog channel. If you're interested, please follow me over at that channel too, so that you can see what's going on with my personal life. So here in my crafty life today, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how I made these cute little teddy bear baby shower invitations, and I'm also gonna be doing some fans like I did with the Chanel invitations. If you would like to check out my Coco Chanel baby shower invitations that I made for Alyssa, she had her baby shower in June, and Lisa and I rocked that baby shower, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see what the tables look like. They came out super beautiful, and so we're gonna do kind of the same thing with Mo's baby shower, but it's gonna be very brunch themey. There's gonna be, I'm hoping, a lot of balloons, and so I wanted to incorporate that and a touch of femininity because it's a girl. So let's get into how I made these teddy bear baby shower invitations for Anthony and Monique. I'm so excited for them. Let's get to it. So I found this cute little teddy on the internet, but as you can see, it's pretty choppy. I wanted to get it nice and pretty and detailed. So I took that teddy bear to Procreate, and I started to just fill in a lot of the details. The ears, as you can see how they're like a lot of little squares there. So I'm going to try and just soften those up using the same tones of colors that the teddy is, as well as making like the ears more detailed, the eyes, the nose more detailed, the mouth more detailed. I go back and forth throughout the entire thing, so I'm not going to show you everything. So I wanted to mention in a disclaimer really quick that this teddy bear, someone had to have created it because I did not draw that. But I don't want to make it seem as if I am taking it and profiting off of someone else's image, which I am not. Everything that I make for my family, birthday, wedding, everything is all free. I don't sell it to them. I don't have them pay me for any supplies or anything like that. So I just wanted to make a note of that. So I'm borrowing this little teddy and I'm making this for personal use. So I'm just showing you what I did so you can see my process for the entire invitation ensemble. So as you can see here, I'm just brightening up the eyes and the nose, making it a little bit more brighter and open, giving the eyes a little bit more detail. And I use a lot of different pen tips and brush tips in Procreate. I have downloaded some in the past, so I feel like I'm able to give this a little bit more of just upscaling it a little bit, giving it more details, making it more clear, making it brighter. So there's the teddy, and I'm going to put the crown, make a crown. I had this swag little floral thing, and as you can see, I can change the angles of it. So what I do is just set it on the head, and I duplicate it again and mess with the angle again so that I can close it up and make it look like a little crown. So when I put them together, I do group the layers so that they become one piece and move as one piece. In one of my files, I had this little flower that I don't even remember where I got it from, but I grabbed that flower and duplicated it to have 3 flowers in different sizes to finish off that crown. This was my original design at first, but then I went back because it felt like it needed something else. So I wanted to put a little wildflower bouquet between her little paws. I'm just cropping this little wildflower I'm going to move her over to Cricut Design Space on the transparency still. I have the original design of the teddy there without the bouquet. I'm just going to resize it the same size and take out the old style. Multiply the teddy here, and on a parameters page, which is 6.75 by 9.25, I'm able to fit 20 on this one sheet. Once I have them all aligned and pretty, I do attach them all and I get them all printed, and then I get them all cut. As you can see, it looks a lot more cleaner, a lot more brighter, a lot more defined. And of course, with the bouquet and the flowers, oh. So I go into Procreate and I just freestyle a cloud. I'll do a time lapse here so you can see. I go back and forth so it looks crazy, but when I get the texture and the dimension that I want with some of the shading and the colors that I want, I do put it behind a white background so that Cricut can cut around the cloud instead of trying to cut around the fuzziness. So I create 3 sizes of the clouds. Here's the 2 little ones. And I arrange all of the big ones onto the parameters page. Once I have what I need, then I'll do the same thing with the little ones. I hope you can't hear the kids outside, but they're screaming and stuff playing in their yards. It's just neighbor kids. All right, I get it printed and then I run it through the Cricut to cut them all out, and there are the clouds. These are the larger ones. I don't show the other ones. So I went into Procreate, and with some of the same watercolor brushes and sketch pens and things like that, I just make the shape of a balloon, add some shading. I add a little bit of light on the top left just to give it that dimension and a little bit more texture. I don't want it to be a plain solid color. I wanted it to look a little bit like watercolor. This is the pink one, obviously. This one is the mauve kind of ivory color. I did a light brown one, a medium brown one, a dark brown balloon, and then I did a black one, but I did go back and make this a solid black, not the sketchy black. So again, in Create Design Space, I just duplicate all of these and create a parameters page as I always do. Set all of them on there, and I'm able to fit quite a bit. I print out probably 2 sheets of each color so that I have enough for all of the invitations. I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm gonna arrange it on the card yet, but here I'm gonna measure the coverage of the balloon so that I can cut out a sheet of foil so that I can foil this. Oh my god, it's just so cool to do this. I love foiling, if you haven't noticed yet, if you follow my channel at all. So that is so satisfying to peel off. But look at all of the rose gold balloons. Oh, they came out so cute. Now I'm just gonna cut them out. And I think my needle was getting dull because I had to pluck all of the balloons out. All right, so I had 3 different threads to use because I was gonna thread these, you guys. Obviously, I chose the rose gold colored thread. I bought this at Joann's. I'll link it if I can find it. But I literally, every single little balloon, I added a string of thread because they're going to be on the cover of the invitation, being held around the little foot of Teddy. So they're going to look like this. I thought it was so cute, but oh my gosh, this was the most time-consuming part of the entire project. So I started with sort of a watercolor dots and created a dotted background for the cover. I started with half a sheet and then I went with a full sheet just in case I didn't know which one I wanted to do yet. So in PicBucket, I'm choosing a 3x5 card, and I'm just going to throw all of my elements on there, and I'm going to work on different fonts, different colors, different phrases. This one is very cute. There's a very cute baby on the way, and there's a, let me see, we can barely wait to meet you. So I ended up choosing the we can barely wait to meet you. I take off all of the elements and just have these 2 layers to work with. So I separate those, put them both on transparent backgrounds, take it to Cricut Design Space, And I am choosing the 3x5 size because that's the size card that I'm making, so they're all proportionate. So I get 3 on one sheet. And as I'm looking, just before I start, I printed a practice sheet, but I ended up changing it out for the full polka dotted sheet. And I think they look better. So I'm gonna print them separately, but on the same sheet so that I can foil the title. So I bought a couple sheets of this rose gold foiled cardstock, but the store ran out and I needed some. I didn't have enough to do all of the covers, so I had to create my very own. So I decided to make a bordered sheet, like a mat, and then foil it. So this is how I do it. I went to Cricut Design Space and created my 3¼ by 6¼ mat, turned it black, and I duplicated it, turned it white into the size 3.5 or 3x5. And then I shrunk it down just a little bit so that I'll be able to overlap the cover on top of this matted bordered cardstock to make it look like it is the cardstock that I needed. So once I got them printed out, I went ahead and just got some foil sheets and foiled those. All right, so I'm just gonna show you here what it's gonna eventually look like. I think there's a good overlapping, no gaps or anything, so I really like this. Okay, so I printed the second sheet with the new teddy bear and the new sizes. So this is what they look like, and actually this printed out very nice. All right, so I'm gonna put this, oh gosh, they look so pretty. I love my balloons, you guys. They came out pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna cut this out and arrange it on my polka dotted paper. And if it fits right, then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in the masses. All right, I'm gonna run it through the Cricut. Alrighty. So this was the first cut that I made. And these balloons and the bear and everything, the cloud's a little bit too big. I like her. All right, I'm gonna set these pieces to the side because the card is still the size that I need. My plan is, again with that arrangement, this little girl is gonna sit on the big cloud. And I can't remember the arrangement that I had these, but I'm just gonna lay them down because I need to lay something down. So it's gonna be something to this effect, okay? Just saying. The clouds will be showing a little bit, and then I'm just gonna have to come up with a way to get the string to come down kind of fanned. That's gonna be foiled, and 1 or 2 of these balloons will be foiled. And then it's gonna sit on a foiled border. And then the card is going to be, so I'm gonna make a card that's gonna be 3.5 by 5.5, because the first one is 3x5, and then it's 3¼ by 5¼ Now it's gonna be 3.5 by 5.5. So I do want to match the fonts as the front one has, which is Tall, Dark, and Handsome, which is the one I'm working on there, and then this one, which is called Bloomishly. So I want to do the names in the rose gold, so I'm going to make it in a different font. And I'm just going to pull in different elements. I am going to be using Quiche Sans, which is that where it says Saturday. And just put in my elements. I'm going to put in my balloons. I will eventually pull in the flowers. I'm not quite sure what layout I want quite yet. I just have to mess with it. That's just my process. While I'm pulling in some of the balloons, I kind of want to run the brown color through some of the font. I just tried a different font, but I don't think I like the different ones. I think I just stick with a different Quiche Sans that has a sort of a gradient look to it. And now I'm looking for a background, and I'm just not sure which one to choose. I do end up going with the cloud, the large cloud. Well, in the cloud, they're all the same, but a large cloud. That's gonna sit behind the kids' names. So the balloons, I was thinking a cluster on each corner on the top. I end up changing that. I changed my mind on that. I end up bringing in the flowers. I'll show that in a little bit. I found a little squiggly line that can work perfectly as little strings for the balloons, so that worked out good. There are the flowers. I'm just gonna scoot up some of these words, and I should have made them a little bit bigger, but I didn't. I'll know for next time. So I moved the little titles around a little bit and just messing with the flowers. I wanted it to look nice and fluffy down there. I do bring in the little branch that Teddy is holding, and I'm going to set it behind some of the flowers here so that it has some greenery and pops really nice. And then I'm like, you know what? The balloons would look really good all the way across the top with the little strings on them sitting behind the cloud. And so that's what I did. I think that that is a nice design. So I'm just going to mess with that a little bit, and then I'll show you here what the almost final looks like. There we are. Of course, it's the fake address and all that stuff, but I'll pull in the true one later. So I finally got to pull out the white table that we got from IKEA, and I pulled out everything that I had, just laid it out on the table so that I can get ready to sit down that night and put some stuff together. I was able to put a reference cover together so that I know placement of everything. I pulled out some adhesive and started cutting them down to put them on the back sides of the polka dotted paper and on some of the other elements that I'm going to put together. Behind this bordered cardstock, behind the teddy, I start gluing down the clouds and everything to get it ready so I can put the teddy with the balloons and threads on the cover. You see that pile, those piles? Yeah, that was a big job. On the teddies, I use a dimensional adhesive because I want them to stand out. I did end up using both sizes, smaller sizes of the clouds for the top part. And I'm going to pull out the balloons that I need to copy my reference page and get another cover done. And I just do them one by one to get 40. I made 40 for this particular project. This is the only one that's on dimensionals. I end up using the hot glue gun for the rest of the balloons. And I noticed that the foiled balloons, if I used too much hot glue, it would cloud up or melt the foil even more, so it would look kind of weird. So I had to be careful and just add a little worm of glue on there as to not create, you know, that kind of cloudiness, and it messes up the look of the balloon. So I do have 3 on the top, sort of 3 on the middle part, and then there's one that sits on the bottom part, so it looks like a circle. And they kind of look like they're standing up, but I think it's because the hot glue kind of creates a dimension on the back side, so they stand up a little bit. I really like the look of the thread. I think it helps with pulling in all of the foil. It just looks super pretty. So I'm just gonna grab all of the balloon strings and just gonna do a little twist so that they all come together at the very bottom. And then just a little dab of hot glue to help keep them in place works perfectly. And then to save thread, once I cut this excess of thread that I have in my fingers there, I'm gonna use that and wrap it around, and I almost put it on the wrong side of the teddy. But I use that to wrap it around once around the teddy's foot, so it looks like all of the balloons are hanging on to, or are like tangled up on her little bottom paw, her little foot paw. And I don't have to waste any more thread. There's enough length of the thread of the excess, and there's the right amount of it. So I really like how they came out. I really love this project, as tedious as it was. So this one just is one that's just flying away. So I add a tiny dab of glue and I twist the thread to make it look like it's kind of spinning and like flying away. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 12 by 12 vanilla cardstock and just start cutting down my card bases once I have them all cut. I think I'm doing 40, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I did 40 of the invitations, so that's how many I'm going to cut. We're going to score them, and I like the nice tall size that it is. It's not your regular like 5 by 7 or something. Anyways, I got the inside cards all printed out and foiled, and we're going to start the assembly. Now, before I left home, I placed an order with Hobby Lobby for a few things, and the rose gold cardstock is one of them. I had it delivered over at the LA house, and that way it would be available for when I was ready to use them for the project. So I'm just going to cut them down, and I decided that once I have these matted with the rose gold cardstock, I wanted to add white cardstock to these too. I think it just softens up the entire invitation. Hopefully you can see that here. So I'm going to cut up all the cardstock to get them ready for the inside and the cover, and using the double-sided adhesive and some of my tape runner, I'm just going to go ahead and get them all attached. Now if you hear some purring or anything, that's my grandkitty here. Anna's cat is here and babysitting. So this is a ribbon that I found on Amazon. Luckily it was the perfect color when it came in because I had never seen it before. And tying it around one of the cards, I know what length to cut them at, so that's what I do. So I used the lighter vanilla colored balloon, and I just made it a little bit bigger, and I added this quote, "Welcome to the world, sweet baby girl." And the word sweet will be foiled, so this was not planned at all, but I think it gave a nice look to the back side of the invitation. And it'll look like this. Trying to get the invitations done has been super difficult for me, so Lisa started helping me around 8 o'clock tonight, and she just now went to bed. Let me just show you what I did, because I totally forgot to record it as she's helping me. So we have the cover already on the front. What we did first was, of course, put this in the very inside of the card, and I decided not to put anything on the inside. I decided to make a little baby quote type thing on the back side. So this is "Welcome to the world, sweet baby girl," and then the sweet is foiled in a rose gold, and faintly you can see the little bear crown sitting on the S. So I have Lisa help me glue the very edges of the ribbon down on both ends, and then we glued these down or taped these down. Lastly, I will tie the bows, cut them to either a fishtail or at a slant, and then burn the edges lightly to get rid of the fray, and then we're done. I'm going to pack them in a plastic clear cellophane bag, then they're ready to be mailed out. So I really like how these turned out. They're so pretty. So I'm going to start working on that, and then I can get those attached, and then I'll tie the bows on these. This bag size is B6, B1, and I buy all of my bags from clearbags.com. For this project, I do put them all in the cellophane bags, but I don't use the adhesive strip yet, because this time around I'm going to put some cardstock, some white cardstock on the inside front with address labels. I was able to put the teddy on the address labels too, so it just kind of looked cohesive. It was very pretty. So once I had that in there, then I would put another strip of my double-sided adhesive, because it was super, super sticky, and I wanted a really good seal. Now, it's 2:10 in the morning, September 15th. Today is my birthday. These are the ones that are going out. I don't want to share the address there, but so I opened up the package that I had of the wood handles for the fans, and I only pulled out 20. That's all I'm going to make for this project, just because we tossed away so many for Naya's baby shower, and that was one from her baby shower. So I'm going to make it the same size. Pretty much it's going to look identical. I'm just going to add one other element that's different from hers.
I have to apologize. I am like so distracted right now with what's going on with my dad. And I mean, it's September 18th, and we have the baby shower coming up October 2nd. My dad has just been in a comatic state for today's day 10. And so I've been spending the night in there, and I'm in there every half hour to an hour checking on him. And so in the middle of the night, I'm up every 2 hours. I set my alarm, and I'm very distracted. So I've been doing things, coming back and forth, trying to get things done. And I have been forgetting to set the camera for some of these things. All I know is that my dad is first primarily. So I'm trying. Anyways, in saying that, I already started doing, I can't even remember what the last clip was. Actually, it's right here. Let me see. So I started to do the balloon arches that you see, and it looks too busy for me right now. I'm just going to exit out of that.
So I just ended up using my balloons and adding that stringy ribbon for them as if they're all flying away. And Camilla Rose is going to be foiled in the rose gold, and 2 of the balloon sets on the side. So now that they're foiled, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the rose gold cardstock to do the matting and the white cardstock. I went ahead and continued on getting these matted, and I decided to do a belly band across the fan. So I just cut 1-inch strips. The next thing is using my corner cutter. This is a 1/4-inch round cut, and I'll do that for the vanilla cardstock and the white cardstock. So I have reinforcements, those little cards, those are reinforcements. What I'm going to do is add glue to the back side of the fan right there. And this is so that the front cover will be nice and straight and flat. And this putting on top of the stick is that if the paper starts to like wrinkle a little bit, it'll show just on that back side, but it won't show on the vanilla cardstock that's going to go on top of that. I will add a tiny bit because I do want it to stick and stay closed. These came in 2 pieces like this. Let me show you what they look like. This is the specs on them. 5 ounces is kind of small. I am going to go for a bigger ounce next time we do another party. But I just use a little bit of the glue, and I glue them all down to the base. As the flutes dry, I'm just going to tie a little bow around all of the base of the flutes, snip them at an angle, I believe, and then I burn the edges. So I did that with all of them. Let me show you what they look like. Super cute. We're going to use some cloth napkins. I'm going to pull out all of the utensils so that I can get them all wrapped up. I'm going to pull one, and we're probably going to do either black ones next time or just paper because they came out so dirty. We had to throw some away. So I just do a burrito roll on these, and I was going to tie them with the ribbon, but then I decided, you know what, I think the little belly band would look really pretty, and then maybe a bow on top. So that's what I'm going to do, is cut down a bunch of strips so that I can get them all wrapped up. There it is. Just using a little bit of hot glue. I would suggest if you're doing this on a hot day, use liquid glue because some of them popped off So here's the little bows that I made. They're super tiny. And because I had so much of this ribbon, I wanted to use it on everything. So I just glued little bows on top of that and just looked really cute. So I gathered all the teddies on my bed, and with the same ribbon that I've been using, I'm just gonna go ahead and give them all a bow tie. These are the ribbons I took off of all of the teddy bears that I had. So I just went one by one and just tied up little bows, little bow ties for them. And it just softened all of them up. And we used these for decor for the baby shower party and set them on the tables and things. So they just looked really, really cute. Thank you so much for stopping by, you guys. Be sure to check out the description box for links to everything and to the blog and pictures and things like that, okay? Have a good day, you guys. Bye.